This week on Flipper Flicks, I got a branching out. And Sam, Tim, we've been watching films that branching out is getting difficult. So I'm sitting here like, what is branching out for Adam these days? Outside of just picking horror films. So I was like, I'm going to branch out from a director of a film that I did not like. So I'll give you the description of this movie, but you're not going to know what it is.
Okay.
There's a movie within a movie, and some crazy people want to make another movie, but things get messy.
Movieception.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It's called Why Don't You Play in Hell?
What?
Okay. No, I was
Never
thinking.
heard of this movie.
It's by Sion Soto. He did Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, when we watched that film, I was like, oh, it's supposed to be really good at stuff.
Right, yeah.
Give
And
him
then-
another chance. Why
So
not?
giving him another chance with branching out, I figured, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And we are back this week on Flipper Flicks. I'm Adam, but you already know this.
I wasn't expecting you to start right away. I was like, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He rose to the occasion.
As
I'm
is
Tim.
tradition.
I know what he's waiting for you to say.
And here we are with Why Don't You Play in Hell?
I didn't get to say my name. You just
Yeah,
like,
I don't
rolled
care.
past me.
Well, the way what's funny is I was sitting there.
That's what I was
Wondering,
getting at.
Yeah.
He was
Did
waiting for
she
you to
say
it.
her name? And then he's like, he's waiting for me to say my name. And I was like, okay, he must have been last. And then,
You would think after however long we would get this down, but every episode we're sitting here chuckling about introducing ourselves.
It's
I'm
fine.
Sam.
201.
Yeah. Still haven't figured it out.
One of these days we'll figure it out. But like I said, we watched this film on Peacock. It's Why Don't You Play in Hell? It's fucking weird.
Whoa. Hot take
Just
before you even
right
do
at
the
it.
synopsis.
I know. Well, let me read you the synopsis. A renegade film crew becomes embroiled with a Yakuza clan feud.
Were you trying to read that super speedy?
No, it's only like 12 words.
Yeah.
I
felt
feel like he did not like this film.
I know. Like,
Oh, that's quite the wrong take.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought this movie was wild.
Are you trying purposely to be monotone about it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to tell you before we started. My voice is being weird.
Oh, okay.
It's like
This is
it's
being
not.
weird.
It's not. I don't know, going up and down as well.
Oh, okay.
I gotcha.
I'm having a bit of treble.
Ha!
There you go.
There's
But,
there's the
Here comes.
Yummy.
yeah. So don't eat chocolate before recording, or just dairy in general.
Life
You can't
pro tip
make
number
me.
1.
But like right off the bat in this film, it's like 10 years earlier, and you're like, we haven't even started,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start 10 years before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the film gods
Mhm.
are gonna look down upon these fuck bombers and let them have the most wonderful movie of their life.
Yep. And at the beginning, I wasn't sure like what exactly was the storyline because it was like cut to the next
Yeah.
thing, cut to the next thing, and it starts with that freaking commercial, and I was like, wait, like
Right,
clearly the
yeah.
movie's
Yeah.
started, but also this is
Like, hold
very
up.
odd.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny part. Like, it's very set in 3 acts.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It
act,
is. Yeah, very much.
like this is one of the most noticeable. Like act 1, 2, 3.
But that's so intentional too, because
I know.
what it's about, which is fucking great.
I know. So the whole movie I thought was just act 3. So the very beginning, I'm like, okay, well, we're just like these young guys are just.
It was. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It was.
Yeah, like they're getting their
That's why we started 10 years earlier.
Yeah, they're figuring stuff out, and
Yeah.
then
But they're also establishing all the different groups of people
I
because they're
know.
cutting between like the 2 Yakuza groups and the fuck bombers
They
and
even
also
show
the wife. Yeah.
they show Koji for a hot second,
Yeah.
and that's just
Mm.
you're like, what? Who is this kid?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't even connect the dots for you until later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you like that leather snakeskin suit of
Dude.
the one Yakuza dude?
That
Moto
was solid.
Moto was looking gangster,
Yeah.
mostly because he
Fucking
was.
beautiful.
But the Kijawa clan was even cooler because you could tell they were
pretty
cool because
Yeah.
they were wearing kimonos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then he
They're
was
more traditional, right? They live in tradition.
I know.
yeah. And then he was
It's hard to say which one looks better, in my opinion. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, the leather suit is hard.
Well, but that's only Moto. But the rest
That's
of his
true.
clan.
The rest of his clan is more boring. But I was gonna say it's funny
Right.
that the other dude was like, shave your head, shave your face, shave your eyebrows. Doesn't match the
I
kimono. Like he's a very specific vibe for his group as well.
Yeah.
Right? But the main dude, Hirata, he's fucking walking around just filming everything. They had like a whole set going where they were filming these like this couple that about rotten eggs.
Yeah.
And then he sees a street fight. And he's like, oh, they all got so excited, ran over and started filming. And then somehow they got Sasaki to join them. And I still don't really understand why he joined them. He just was like, that's cool. Like he didn't know who the fuck they were.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I guess I'm gonna turn you into a great action star is really what hooked him in. He's
I
like,
know.
okay.
You're going to be the Bruce Lee of Japan.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, though, I thought. Yeah. I don't know.
I thought it was
That was
funny.
fun. I thought that guy was probably my favorite just because throughout the film, like, because he had the yellow suit and stuff.
Yeah.
And just throughout the film, how he acted, he was always just like in character. If you ever saw him, I feel like.
Yeah.
I know.
Constantly, like,
What was
It's
wild
her.
to me, I was like,
and then
why?
he cuts like a perfectly, and then he moves.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's fucking cracks me up.
I liked how I was like, don't make him wear the suit again, man. He looks
What,
ridiculous.
the yellow one?
Yeah.
The yellow one was like very Kill Bill, but it was
Yeah.
like it was over the top and it was fucking great.
Somebody was worked on Kill Bill from this film.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I think it might have been Moto.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Moto was Boss Tanaka,
Mm.
the lead like mob boss. He's also
Yeah.
the Japanese man in The Wailing, by the way, Tim.
Really?
Oh yeah. I noticed it.
Yeah. I was like, I have seen this dude in things.
I know, I'm
I'm not
just-
sure
Oh,
what.
shit.
Yeah. Like that demon motherfucker?
Yeah. Okay.
Connecting some dots.
Weird, right?
Yeah. I got there.
It happened. You got there, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
But I do think you're right, Adam. At first he's wearing like the Kill Bill suit when he's younger, and you're like, oh, okay. And then he has his big storm off, and then they're gonna fight the fight, and he like gives him the suit, and it's
I
like,
know.
really, you're gonna stand out like a sore thumb amongst all the kimonos and
But
regular suits.
The yellow jumpsuit
Yeah.
is a Bruce Lee thing.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah. And I think that's why they did it in Kill Bill and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's symbolism to it, right?
Yeah, it's just
And that's why they did it in this, right?
yeah. Hands him a pair of nunchucks. He's actually good with them. Those things are illegal in some states, I think.
Nunchucks? Yeah. Well, there was a couple of things that were for a while, like brass knuckles were
Mhm.
illegal. They were considered a weapon regardless of what they were situation in. Ohio actually just recently passed a thing to where you can carry those now.
oh,
That's why you can hide them. Yeah, Arizona, California, New York, and Massachusetts, you are not allowed to have nunchucks.
wow.
Yeah,
Which is wild
doesn't
at
surprise me.
California, though, because of all the filming. Do you know what I mean?
Wait.
Like any film, movies film with nunchucks in them occasionally. It's not often, but I'm sure there's probably loopholes.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, they're probably like these are made out of styrofoam.
Yeah, or something.
These
like
are not
that.
real.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're not going to come after a set crew or anything to have
I
that has
know.
real.
I
That's
know.
not
It's just
what
funny.
It's about.
I know. It's just
Not
funny.
like hunting people down and have those.
That's the main thing that people are getting targeted for now are nunchucks.
Excuse me, we saw you bought some off Amazon. We're gonna roll up at your house and confiscate them.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize that this was an act 1, 2, 3 scenario. I was used to that standard 10 to 15 minute intro, and that it just kept going, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
This
it didn't
is-
stop.
this isn't what I thought this intro was going to be.
It was pretty great.
And
Just whoop.
dude, the little girl when she goes into the room of blood,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was another part that I was very confused about. I'm like, clearly that's blood, but like, what is happening? Because up until
yeah,
this
like
point,
that's
like,
more than a body can hold.
Dude, I went in a weird direction in my head because we saw this little girl do a commercial for toothpaste. So I was like, are they about to make this like a period commercial?
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking weird. And then it wasn't. And I was like, this is much better.
Yeah.
Don't do that if you're making like a pads commercial.
You're like, wait a minute. Are we just gonna be watching random commercials interspersed
Yeah, I know.
in this film?
Well, I didn't know. And then, dude, she just went up to that dude and was like, you need to clean this up.
Get your shit together, basically.
And then he became obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm. Which is a little gross.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Like
Quite a bit, yeah.
But he had a large picture of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did like a very
Yeah.
We're talking,
Gigantic.
yeah.
shrine style.
Yeah, exactly.
I did love how Moto, whatever his name is, he like accidentally bumped into it and just like, the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
mm.
At one point, in Act 2, when they were setting everything up, they weren't fully getting there. Koji's on the run. I'm like, I think Koji may get killed.
Yeah. I could have seen that.
I felt that way, right?
That being said, Koji did not die how I expected.
Oh, yeah. He had some
Trauma?
embellishments. First, his hand gets cut
Yeah.
off. Then he gets
Yeah.
lobotomized.
He had a lot going on. Well, before even that, he was like eating the cocaine or whatever.
That's true.
That was
yeah.
hilarious.
That was his first thing that happened when he fell in there. He fell over into the cocaine. It was like, and then he kept like smacking it in his face.
Yeah.
And then later on, he has it again. He's like,
At one point, he was just like, when they first gave him the cocaine, I feel like they just like, I'm guessing that they just assumed all directors just do a ton of coke because they were trying to get him everything, right? Like all the cameras, all the lighting and sound.
yeah,
So I was like, do they just assume that directors just have that much
have
coke?
coke.
Yeah.
constantly.
Here, take this.
It's important.
It's important.
Maybe that was cocaine for them. I don't know.
I don't know, but I also loved how he shoved it up his shirt.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had forgotten he had it in his shirt until he fell into it. I was
Until
like,
he fell
oh.
into it.
I just figured he would have gotten rid of it by that point.
Mhm.
But it
But
was important, so
it
he held on
was.
to it. He follows directions.
Yeah.
I also love that Hirata never at one point like called out that he wanted to be the director of the film. He just assumed the director role,
Yeah.
even though Koji was still the director to the mob team.
Well, the mob didn't know any better, right?
They
So he was
didn't.
like, "You're producer," and he was like, "Whatever. I'm just gonna do whatever I want with it." And like, they're not gonna know any better.
I still can't believe they got Sasaki back.
Mm-hmm. That was a funny scene when he's like breaking all the tables. That's expensive.
Yeah.
Here, take my paycheck. I'll pay it back later.
Also,
Yeah.
when just the excitement that he had, being like, "This is the film of my life." Just, like,
He was
screaming.
just so like crazed at that point. It was fucking great.
Like he played such a
He
great
going
crazy
Super Saiyan.
person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like he was just going crazy off of it.
So excited to film the raid, which I love how they go over to the other like mob's house, like the other Yakuza members. It's
Right.
like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Yes, we'll do it. The fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because. And then just people be dying. Most realistic film ever.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just like wasn't expecting that to happen. And then I was really laughing when at one point like they're chucking fake arms and like
Yeah.
legs and shit up really
He's
high
like,
when they're
"Ooh,"
filming.
trying to get the camera angle and
Yeah. That was so ridiculous and like over the top. It was
And then,
great.
Yeah.
and then when the Yakuza boss's head just flies up
Yep.
in the air,
Yep.
Yeah.
like spiraling blood and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
If
Super
you're
goofy.
if you're not into cheesy gore, is what I will say. You're not gonna
Yeah,
enjoy this film.
absolutely.
But otherwise, you're going to love it.
Yeah. If that's your thing, you should watch the second half of this film.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, this film was a lot of fun, and I can't tell if what I'm thinking would be funnier. I think it would be more of an Americanized version. because this is probably more. The audience was probably Japanese, right?
Yeah, Sion Soto.
Very much so, just like a Japanese film. So it doesn't make sense in their culture, I guess. But for us, it would have been even funnier if like the parts where they're not on camera, they're talking Japanese, and then the parts where he's like action and then they're going and they say stuff, if they came out in like a plain English voice. You know what I mean? And then but their mouths are still kind of like homage to the old movies of like voiceovers for Asian films and stuff.
Are you thinking of like the bit from like Officer Down, where he at one point said,
but more of the actual like the older films that would be like,
"Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Hey, you stop there!" Yeah, and then it's the person's lips are like you can clearly tell they're talking in Mandarin or Japanese or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be more Western.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still find it crazy that this dude made Prisoners of the Ghostland.
I know,
but at the same time, not at all.
I know. I was gonna say there's some stuff in Prisoners of the Ghostland that you're like, okay, I can see.
That was just such a weird movie.
Yeah, it was.
And like this one, it's weird. Don't get me wrong.
It's very weird.
And this is a branching out category. I was branching out because everybody said this dude made good movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if I believe that. I watched Prisoners of the Ghostland, which people were like, so someone said, I tried to like scroll through Reddit because I was like, there wasn't much information on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to see other people's reactions. So people are obsessed with this director. Like, you know how Tarantino has a following?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's like Tarantino because Tarantino's his own thing, but like how he has a niche. So this dude has a niche film collection.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, I did kind of get Tarantino vibes in the beginning when you have all these stories and then they converge at the end, right? Like
that is true.
That's like similar.
I would agree with that. I was just trying to say like the following.
Yeah. Well, I thought the toothpaste song was super catchy by the end. At the beginning, I was like, this is annoying. But then by the end, I'm like singing along, bopping along.
Like, oh,
also, like they were able to string it through the whole film and it working. And like having it work. Like even the other the Yakuza boss that's in the kimono. First off, he smiled every time he looked at the camera.
Yeah.
Because he was so excited to be on camera.
He was like cheesing.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
I caught that too. I thought that was funny.
I love how he like gets into a sword fight with Sasaki and they like end up like, I don't know what happened, but they ended up breaking and he's like, you're just like tacky. And then thumbs up and runs away.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then the awful thing happens. The sound guy shoots him.
Yeah. And it was like, wait, you're cheating.
And then all of the guns happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of, like I said, I think I said this earlier, but like I was kind of surprised that they died. I don't know why. I think because at this point you're kind of in this fantastical world and you're like, well, they're not going to die.
Yeah.
So then when the camera people start dying with their crazy guns and shooting everywhere, I'm like, I know it's logical, but I was like, oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved the camera people. The one that's really good at panning. How he's just like holding the gun. Like he shoots forever.
He does. They all do.
I know.
Fully automatic and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like clearly it's being satirical.
It's just being goofy.
Yeah. But he's just like laughing as he's shooting. And then later on, the director goes up to him. And he's like, you're still shooting when you're dead. Very professional.
Yeah, that was funny.
But I loved that he was running away with all the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just laughing maniacally, like, I got it. That was great.
He has the dream sequence where everybody lives, and I'm like, wait, what? And then that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that they all lived.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to see the masterpiece that he made.
I know.
I
know.
Like, I get it because it was already kind of a long movie, but I was like, oh man, I wanted to see what it turned out. Like, was it just hot garbage or was it actually good?
Does he know? I don't know. His one trailer looked like it was decently done.
The one that he kept like making people rewatch.
Yeah. Apparently, that film was a working title film for another movie this dude, Sion Soto had made.
I could see that.
So that was the one note.
Nice.
I remembered it. But yeah, when they were doing the fantasy sequence at the end, you see the boss Moto, his neck. He's got tape around his neck, holding it together still. Yeah. Koji has tape down his head. I don't think it's gonna work like that, man.
No. You can just tape his head back on it. It's totally fine.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Also, when they're getting the film ready, and we're gonna go very traditional, katanas only.
Yeah.
Why? Because we're Japanese.
Yeah.
What did you think of their group name? The Fuck Bombers.
I was very confused by that. I'm still confused by that.
I think it's because people say it's the F bomb.
Oh.
You dropped an F bomb.
That makes more sense.
Okay.
I didn't.
And it's just a different culture not fully understanding that.
Yeah.
And teenagers not understanding that would be very accurate.
Yeah.
The Fuck Bombers.
Yeah. I could see that. I like that theory for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I have no idea. I'm just making stuff up on the fly.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
That's what you got to do. But it's, by the way, I've been saying Moto. It's Muto. I was right. I said Muto at the beginning and I switched to Moto.
Moto.
Yeah. But what do you think of Mitsuko?
She was fine. I thought it was hardcore when she did that whole glass kiss thing. I was like,
dude, that was badass.
And then you see the glass chunk come out his cheek. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
And at that point, I wasn't sure where this movie was going still. So I was like, oh, God.
I was wait, what?
Dude, Koji was just on the phone getting yelled at by his mother. Mm-hmm. His mother. And then suddenly he's with this girl that is chewing glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And making her ex-boyfriend eat it. And then the Yakuzas take him. And he's on for a wild 36 hours of his life.
Yeah. And I like how they first signed him on and he's like, all right, what's it going to cost me? And then he's like,
a penny.
He basically makes it seem like he's going to kill him either way. If you do a bad job, I'm going to kill you. If you run away, I'm going to kill you. And he answers maybe 3 or 4 questions. And then he's like, all right, I'm out of here. I got to run away.
Yeah. Well, do you think it's going to be the price of my breakfast, my lunch, or my dinner? My dinner, I eat with the woman I'm going to be buried with.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Jesus. Dinner. Oh, dinner. Well, I'm going to have a lot to say then. Breakfast.
Yeah.
And he just throws a coin at him.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And one of the funnier quotes to me, too, was when Harada and Sasaki were, getting into it about, he's like, we haven't done anything with our lives. And then the other one's like, who cares? We're still going to make a great movie. And then he's like, yes, crap is the most sacred. And then he just starts saying holy crap 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
what the hell is happening?
There was a lot going on in this film. I feel like there's bits and pieces that are coming back to me right now because I'm like, it felt like there was so much happening in every scene.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's just because it was a different language we have to read and stuff. So, and it's a fast-paced film.
Yeah.
But it's weird because it's both the beginning kind of starts a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's you're on a roller coaster, right? And it's not a big hill down. It's just a nice steady slope and it's still picking up speed. And then suddenly it drops.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're on
when
overdrive.
Act 3 hits, it's all right, you're going to go bullet train fast. Lots is happening. Lots of stuff is happening. The director will yell cut and everybody just stops fighting for a second, which is hilarious.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah. I thought that was great.
Oh, we have to redo it again. Do we have to go behind the door? No. We just need a different shot.
Just line up against who you were against.
Yeah. It's just hilarious. At that point, like 3 people had been cut in half.
Right? Yeah.
Seriously.
It's just like, oh god, this is a good one.
Let's get to the ratings and flippings ons.
Mm-hmm.
So I would flip this on.
Okay.
Now, as far as rankings, this one was tough because at first I was like, it's kind of like mid-level for my rankings for this season. I was like, I as we kept talking, I was like, nah, this movie's ridiculous. Like, I would watch this again. I'm realizing that more and more as I talk about it because a lot of times, Tim, Sam and I will chat a little bit about films, like, because we watch them the night before. So there's a little bit of downtime,
Right.
and we're like, the fuck was that? I.e., Officer Down. Or Shadow in the Cloud. But on movies that like this, we don't really talk about. And I think this film just keeps evolving
Because
as
you both liked it, so then
you don't want to waste any of your content.
right. Yeah.
So I
You
did
kinda
that
like, oh yeah.
all day today. So it was spinning and spinning and spinning. And then I
I do
actually,
the same thing though.
yeah, but you don't,
It's like,
yeah.
and we get here and we talk about it, and I'm just sitting here looking at my list, and I'm like, it's making its way up.
It's climbing, man.
Yeah.
But I have Godzilla still in number 1, Harry Potter at 2, Whiplash at 3, Van Helsing at 4, and then Why Don't You Play in Hell at 5.
Okay.
So right above Samurai 1. By the way, 3 of my like, what'd we pick? Like 5 movies each this season, or 4 movies? Like 3 of my picks are Japanese. I mean,
Yeah.
Godzilla is a westernized Japanese
Sure.
film, but still
I didn't realize that till now.
weird, right?
Weird.
All right, which
Weird.
one of you want to go next?
Tim's next.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually a pretty great film. Compared to like, I don't know, like Ghostlands, you can see it and stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
You
This
could
is a
tell.
great film.
You could tell that it could be good,
yeah.
and then I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, mine is going to be right above Samurai as well. So for me, it goes Van Helsing, Sixth Sense, Whiplash, Hidalgo, Black Lagoon, Harry Potter, then this, Samurai, Godzilla, Leon, Bridesmaids, and then my flip off, Choice of Weapons, Officer Down, Magic, and then Shadow in the
Wait,
Cloud.
doesn't this knock one of yours down?
Oh yeah, sorry. So the flip off now is Bridesmaid.
Okay.
Mm,
Bridesmaids moves down onto the flip off list, but at the top of it.
Gotcha.
That's what I meant to say there at the end.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually gonna flip this off.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are like, what the fuck?
I don't know, Tim. She has the highest flip off rating.
Only because the first
I
half
have a
is a
feeling I
little
know
bit
why.
slow for me. Like if I was
Mhm.
cruising past on the channel and the second half was on, I would stop and watch it hands down. Because the second half is like insanity, everything I would want this film to be.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
first half is a little bit too slow for me.
Mhm.
So I'm putting it in my first flip off spot because I'm like, well, technically, like this would be the perfect one that would be on the fence for me. Because
Yeah.
like depending on where it is in the film, I'm flipping it on. I really enjoyed the second part of it and like just the sheer pandemonium that happens.
Dude, right?
But I feel like I don't know. The first part I was just like, get to the story, mates.
This isn't what I thought it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but I do wonder if like this is one of those movies that gets better as you watch it more and more. So
Probably.
like I feel like if I were to revisit it
Yeah.
and watch it again, like I might be like, actually it was pretty good. So anyway, mine's gonna slot in right above Bridesmaids as well.
Yeah.
So Bridesmaids was my first flip off and now it's this.
Okay. Now, when we first watched Prisoners of the Ghostland, I had stated that this is supposed to be a really big director in Japan. And we were all like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you both be open to seeing other films by him?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. See, same. I just think it's funny though. Like we were like, this is gonna not be good.
Yeah.
So I tried to take a different take on our branching out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
And did I live up to your expectations of me when I said I was going to flip it off? Is that the reason what you guys were thinking or something else?
I
Yeah.
was thinking that you wouldn't like the length of it.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of, yeah.
figured you would want it edited down at
And
the
then
beginning.
technically, yeah.
Technically, that's what I said, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
You guys know me. Look at that.
Yeah. You're all for madness. It's not the madness that bothered you.
No, I really enjoyed that. And usually the gore bothers me too, but since this was so cheesy, it didn't really bother me.
It was
cheesy
really
gore,
cheesy
right?
gore.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think you'd have a problem with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And as far as the critics, they gave it an 80%.
Okay.
Audience an 80%.
There you go.
80%. Yeah.
IMDb a 7.1 out of 10.
Damn, that's high.
And Google with a 76%.
There you go.
In Google.
I never understand it, man.
Google doesn't make sense.
What's so weird to me about Google versus like Rotten Tomatoes is they follow the same algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
And yet, 200 episodes in,
We still don't
we're
trust
still
him.
bamboozled by Google.
We still don't trust the guy. But moving on to the last episode. Well, is it the last episode? Who knows? There
It's
might
the
be
last
bonuses.
ranked episode,
It
right?
is true, yeah. Last ranked. But yeah, Tim isn't up, Sam is.
Yeah.
I'm up.
Yeah.
Tim, I believe Samantha got here something known as a director's cut.
Ooh, snap.
So who you feeling?
No.
Who you feeling to pick for her? I was kind of going with I'm just gonna throw a name out here, and I think you're gonna just say yes immediately because of who it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan on Ding Dong.
Yeah, I don't know why you even asked. You should have just been like, he's going to say yes.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna start the season with him and end it.
We
Sure.
did do that, didn't
Yeah.
we? Wow, look at us.
Would you look at that?
Sometimes we plan ahead like that.
But we don't.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Flipper Flicks on whatever podcasting platform you're on. But hey, if you want to continue this fun, we're over on Instagram and Threads. Hit us up there. We are at Flipper Flicks. You can also go to our website and give us some recommendations. We're always looking for more, Please send us those. I'm just pandering to you at this point. That is flipperflix.com. And feel free to like, subscribe, review us. That always helps us out. You can do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, the works, wherever you're able to review. That'd be great. And it also, if you subscribe, you get notified when our episodes drop on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Yes, that is every Thursday at 1 p.m., so please catch us there. And thanks again for listening.